Hey, what is up you guys? In this video, I wanted to have just a little sit-down conversation about Hullabaloo from the perspective of a casual player. I've been talking about him a lot on streams, but I'd like to do a video so I can just explain my current stance on him better. For a bit of background, I've played Hullabaloo relatively consistently since his release, though the recent months I've been branching out a bit more. Safe to say though, I've had my fair share of good and bad matches on him. I've played through the various nerfs he's gotten and have made a personal guide on him as well. All that to say, in the casual space I'm in, I'd say I've garnered more than enough experience to back myself up on this. Yesterday, I did a stream playing only Hullabaloo. My rank is relatively low since I'm a casual player, my current rank being Croc. In 2 hours, I played 13 quick play games, and in that time frame, I ended up winning 11 of the games and tied the other 2. Despite Hullabaloo only getting nerfed since his release, in 2 hours, while not tryharding, I didn't lose a single game. Additionally, I'm pretty confident I could have gone on for another 2 hours and gotten at maximum maybe 2 losses. I feel like a typical player or anyone not as informed on the competitive space would end up seeing this and go, damn, this must be a really strong hunter, they need to balance him more, which in itself is a fair conclusion. But when you look at the other side of the coin, aka the ranked or competitive scene, against high-tier survivors or just simply survivors who know what they're doing, Hullabaloo struggles an insane amount. People who play Hullabaloo in rank literally intentionally de-rank themselves to make their lives easier. So, looking at this again, on the ranked/competitive side of things, it almost looks like Hullabaloo could benefit from being buffed. But on the casual side of things, it looks like Hulla needs more nerfs. Why is this, you may ask? Well, the answer is simple but also complicated at the same time. In the most straight to the point, blunt way to say this, a lot of casual players still have no clue how to play against Hullabaloo. In the 2-hour stream I had, I'd estimate that literally like 80% of the survivors I went against walked in straight lines or had very predictable pathing, wasted resources way too early, went in for saves at the wrong times, and just in general seemed to have no game sense against this hunter. I don't think I had a single chase that exceeded a minute before getting a down. You could come to the conclusion that this is simply the rank, and people in lower ranks aren't as experienced as other players. But if I tried to do this on a hunter that performs the same as Hullabaloo in high rank, I can guarantee the score would be different. So clearly, it's not based on rank, and looking at high rank, it can't be a character balance issue making Hullabaloo strong. So it has to be a lack of knowledge on how to play against this hunter. The complicated part I mentioned about this though is more so how to overcome the problem itself. If you play quick matches often, you can probably attest to this, but running into a Hullabaloo is ridiculously rare at this point, which again is odd since he seems to perform fairly well still in a casual setting. Even if you want to learn how to play against Hulla, it feels like you can't. While spectating the pros or watching high-tier gameplay can be a really good resource and help you learn, in my opinion, it pales in comparison to actively playing against the thing you're trying to understand. And plus, it's really difficult to apply what you learn from spectating others when you rarely get the chance to. If you look at this character and confidently say, yes, he's still a problem, you'd be correct. But the better way to put it is he's still got a problem. There's a problem with Hullabaloo, but it isn't him that's the problem. It's the fact that due to both the nature of his release and everyone permabanning him for months, and also him only receiving nerfs, making people not want to play him anymore, he became so obsolete that now the casual player has no clue how to play against him. This is the problem. Hullabaloo is not at all like any other character in the game. I often compare him to Undead, but specifically in the sense that they both in some way break the traditional game loop. Undead can't chair survivors, and Hullabaloo doesn't do damage in the typical way. Because of this small little aspect of his kit, he ends up needing an entirely different approach to kiting him completely. One that you would never be able to do against any other character in this game, but works perfectly against him specifically. Take this for example. It's really not that difficult to point out how different this kiting style is to the norm. I'm staying so close to this Hullabaloo, which obviously against any other hunter would get you injured. The whole point of kiting against Hullabaloo is specifically playing around his stage. You have to pay attention to 2 insanely important things, and if you don't, you will not have a good kite. Watch the stacks that you currently have on you. Knowing this will let you know 2 things: the mark that Hullabaloo needs to get on you to do damage, and the stage area you need to avoid. The other thing about this kite that you'll notice is the severe lack of windows and pallets being used. The only thing I need to use to kite properly is some sort of wall or obstacle. If you vault something, you end up getting locked in an animation. Your movement becomes predictable, and the Hulla can easily just use a jump to catch you before you even exit the animation. This entire kite should be standard. In my eyes, this is the exact way you should be thinking when you approach kiting a Hullabaloo. Play around the map's environment, do not depend on map resources such as pallets, understand proper positioning, and understand that the likelihood of you losing chase against this hunter is pretty much zero. So you need to just try your best and use up their time. Hullabaloo has zero cipher pressure, meaning the more time you can waste, the faster the ciphers can get done. Aside from just general kiting, I also often see casual players not catch on to Hullabaloo's double hitting. If you aren't aware still, Hullabaloo can apply 2 marks at a time. If you overlay one stage zone with your clones, you can apply 2 marks. This mechanic can also be done through walls and obstacles. The amount of times people let you get free hits because they aren't paying enough attention to this is literally insane. The only real way to counter this is to, yet again, pay attention. A few months ago, I made a guide on Hullabaloo, which I currently still think is viable, but in that video I said something along the lines of, oh, Hulla has been out for months and people still don't know how to play against him. I gave people some slack then because, hey, he was permabanned, he requires a different kiting style from the norm, but now I feel the only realistic take I can give is this. If you still somehow think this character is broken and impossible to kite, you need to pick yourself up, grab a notepad, and learn how to properly play against him before coming to a conclusion. That'll be it for this video. Sorry if my tone reading the script is a bit aggressive, I promise it's all in good terms. It's just frustrating when NetEase releases a character with really interesting and unique gameplay mechanics and so many people hate on it so much to the point that NetEase nearly ends up ruining him. I mean, the wiki literally has more red than a bag of Takis. If you ended up liking this video, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. I post 4 videos a week and stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you do not want to miss it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.